Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Why are we still here? 2012. We're still fighting the battles that our parents fought 60, 70 years ago. We haven't moved on. Black Lives Matter. What's going on? We all bleed red. Yet some parts of society feel a black man, a black woman, a biracial man, a biracial woman, a biracial child, that we're insignificant. Why? Black Lives Matter. How many times do we have to say this? How many times are we going to be shackled by the chains around our neck? How many times? It is absolutely ludicrous. Black Lives Matter. This gentleman, our Star Wars guy, John Boyega, he was at Hyde Park, and basically he was protesting against the George Floyd murder. Oh yes, and let's be very clear on that. It was a murder. Black Lives Matter. And basically what he said was he didn't give a damn, if this is going to affect his career or not, but he was out here to say his piece. My cousin was very concerned for him. Bollahan thought, what, this is not a good move. However, LucasArts Cinema have come out and have backed him. But then again, I'm a big believer of actions speak louder than words. We shall see. We shall see. Today there's no unboxing. Oh wow, no, but Black Lives Matter, there is an unboxing. What am I unboxing? I'm unboxing my rage. I'm unboxing my frustration. I'm unboxing my disdain for certain elements of the society. Why? Because Black Lives Matter. I've got an extremely small platform. I'm a small-time YouTuber finding my way. However, because of social media, I've got a chance to say my piece. And Black Lives do matter. And please don't try and hijack our momentum, our bandwagon, our slogan. Oh, but white lives matter too, and green lives matter too, and yellow and brown. Of course they bloody do. No one is disputing that. However, when was the last time any of my Caucasian cousins, any Caucasian in the world, when was the last time they had policemen brutally maltreating them, killing them, and getting away with it? When was the last time? So look, leave us with our little our bandwagon. Let us be. This is not about scoring brownie points. This is where we have to stand up and speak out. Oh, what's her name? What's the princess who fled to America, or went to America, was it Canada? I can't. Markle. She says something significant. She said the worst crime you can do is not say anything at all, and that's very, very true. Someone who made a much more potent statement was George Clooney. George Clooney said that the real epidemic is racism, and that basically United States haven't moved on from 400 years from the dawn of slavery. I'm British, so I have a slightly different perspective. I completely agree with what he's saying. My perspective is that black Americans, black minorities, they have a completely different history because they've been in that country much longer. With regards to the British race issues, they are similar, but it's different. Now, I count myself lucky. Why do you ask? Because, one, my father taught me, the importance of integrity. He also made sure not only myself but all my siblings were very well educated. And 3, I had the opportunity to live in a black country. I lived in Nigeria for 15 years. It gives you a completely different perspective. Why? Because as a black person, you're used to black people being in positions of power. So we're used to black judges, we're used to black MPs, we're used to black senators, we're used to black policemen. You know, we're used to black influential people. I mean, Wale Soyinka was a Nobel laureate. We're used to that. I mean, Nigeria in particular, and Africa in general, is filled with intellectuals who are making a contribution to the world. Now, what I don't understand, what frustrates me, is that we all bleed red. Why am I still why do I need to make videos like this? I'm unboxing my rage, my complete despair, and the major issue, what everyone doesn't understand or do, but this thing is not going to go away until people's attitudes change. Now, one of the forces that, in my opinion, and don't forget, everything I'm spouting here, you can switch off, I don't care. With regards to this, you can even unsubscribe. It will be unfortunate, but I don't particularly care, because people are dying for no reason. It's just not right. It's not right. It doesn't make sense. So, like, going back to what I was saying, I've been fortunate because I can come back into this society and say, this is not how it runs. A lot of my peers, people the same age of me who have stayed in Britain all their lives and have gone through the educational system all their life, they used to tell me of how when the people who were meant to be helping them, i.e. the teachers, the welfare officers, they would say, what do you want to do when you leave school? And most people, like most normal people, are fairly ambitious. I like to be an engineer. I like to be an accountant. I wouldn't mind being a teacher. And what they were getting back is, don't be stupid. You know, we've got a factory job for you. We've got a Tesco job for you. We've got a cleaning job for you. Now, please don't misunderstand me. There is nothing wrong with the jobs I've mentioned. However, if you're being educated, if you're being in a position of bettering yourself, if you live in one of the most developed countries in the world, then how come you're holding people back because of the colour of their skin? We all bleed red. Black Lives Matter. How do we progress? I mean, one of the most important concepts to me is the concept of mixed relationships, mixed marriages, mixed relationships. Why? Because people from the families of the two involved, they see the mystique of the black person. They get to know them, and as things develop, they actually forget they're black, you know. And you know, and this is not a bash at non-black people. So please don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say. I'm extremely angry. I'm trying to articulate in a civilized manner. The point I'm trying to get across. I mean, I've experienced racism. I've worked in certain institutions that I would really need to think twice about working in again. I've worked with the Metropolitan Police, and unfortunately a lot of what they say about the police is true. I've seen it from the inside. I can remember, I used to work in a property store. I saw every evil under the sun. I used to go about to the the cells down in the basements. We'll give the prisoners food, change of bedding, etc. And I was with this chap. He's white, I'm black. We are meant to be colleagues on one side. There's a black person in prison. We're giving him his basics, and he says to me, "Oh, look, there's your brother." And I was outraged. So now he's my brother because we're black. So basically, but that's not what he's saying. What he was saying is, that's your lot. I looked at him point blank and told him, you know what, he's not my brother. He's no brother of mine. Cut a long story short, I resigned. Before I resigned, obviously, I gave a few people my peace of mind. But it's just frustrating. I mean, there's an article, a very short article in the Evening Standard. It's about David Oyewole. Yes, another British-born Nigerian. We're everywhere. We have a chip on our shoulder. We talk. And basically, he said that Selma, which was a film where he played Luther King, that basically that film was meant to win an Oscar. The reason why it didn't win an Oscar is at the time there was a brutal killing, just like George Floyd. I'm just trying to. Who was the person who got murdered then? Let's see. Garner. Yeah, it was a gentleman called Mr. Garner. It was put in a chokehold in New York, and unfortunately, he died. Now, I don't know where we go from here. I mean, is the black man, the black woman, the black are we completely innocent? No, but the world surely has moved on. I mean, look at the arrogance. You are being filmed by people all around the world, and you would not remove your foot from this man's neck. This man is screaming, he can't breathe. There was a black gentleman, very brave soul, who moved forward and said, he can't breathe, bro. He can't breathe, bro. You've seen the video. I've seen the video. Come on. There was a white woman filming everything, but she was being threatened. She would move back. She would move forward. I'm confused. We all bleed red. I don't get it. I don't understand the box you want to keep black people in. I don't understand how you see us as insignificant. Black people in most Western countries have done their utmost to assimilate, from marrying out, which I did mention, which I think is one of the major factors forward. So they have married white men, they have married white women, they have biracial children, they have virtually adopted new accents. They've done everything. And this is my natural accent, by the way, but hey, if I want to speak like Niger or break it down in pidgin, I can. I'm not comfortable with doing fake. I'm not comfortable with doing stuff like that. I'm comfortable with doing me. When I went to uni, one of the first things I was taught is that individual has the right to be unique. It has stayed with me for years and years and years. And yes, we have the right to leave. And dear Mr. Racist, dear Mr. Bigot, dear Mrs. Bigot, dear Mrs. Racist, black people are more than being fast runners. We're more than knowing how to dance. Pardon the intro. We're more than that. We're more than throwing a good party. We're more than directing you to the local weed joint. We're more than helping you to score your drugs. You know what we are? We are like you. We are the same. We all bleed red. Black lives matter. I'm 3 years short of 60. Why am I doing this? My parents was probably doing the same thing 60 years ago. We still haven't moved on. What does it take? What do you want from us? Pack our bags and go? And go where? What about the ones that were born here? What about... Go where? Look at... American history is different, but look at the Red Indians. You chased them out. There's virtually none left. You brought the black people in as slaves. Yes, my ancestor chiefs do have a slight responsibility there. However, you know, they came in, they did your work. Now you want them to go. Now you can't stand them. What the hell? You know, I don't get it. It's disappointing is not the right word. You know, it's not the right word. You know, Black Lives Matter. Well, comparatively, where are we going to go from here? It's, oh God, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe you could put some solutions in the comments. This video might get 10 views. I don't do videos at this time. I do videos in the afternoon. I do videos when I am calm and I have showered and I'm fresh. I haven't been in the shower today. Do you know why? Because it was burning me. I had to get this all out. I couldn't delay. I would have done it last night, but I just thought, no, let me just sleep on it. Think about what you want to say. And maybe I'm rambling. I hope I'm not. But Black lives do matter. The world is big enough for everybody. I'm not being funny. I think one of the, even though I didn't realise it at the time, one of the best things that ever happened to me was, well, one was being educated by my father, but two was actually living in a black country, living in Nigeria, because it opened, I think in a 360 kind of manner, because you've got your stereotypical black British version of thinking of how you see things, and then you've got me who I've seen life from a completely different perspective, and so it, in a sense, it probably makes my thinking more complex than it should be, but that's what it is. I'm not sure what we're going for. I wish I was a Farrakhan. I wish I was a Malcolm X, because I want to say more. I want my words to have a little worth. This is why you know what my channel is about. It's about Blu-rays at the moment, and maybe this is the first step of it becoming a lifestyle channel where I spoke about social issues. I'm confused. You took a life in front. I mean, how stupid can you be? This is the era of social media. You can't do anything without being filmed or tagged, or, you know. I unconsciously upset someone the other day. Why? I tagged him in my post. I'm not going to go into details about who it is and why, because I don't want to embarrass him, but I felt bad about that, because he probably didn't want certain things to be known. It was nothing sinister or private. It was me, in a sense, giving him a shout out. But the point I'm trying to make is that we've got cameras everywhere. We've got journalists everywhere. We've got bloggers and vloggers. We're everywhere. We're taking... So people you would think, because they're easily accountable because of these things that are in place, that they would be more cautious with their actions, more reflective. But no, he didn't care. He murdered someone virtually as if it was a play in the theatre, and he was on stage playing the bad guy, and the crowd was screaming, "Boo! Boo!" But where were the good guys? They were there, but they were scared, and rightly so. Because I don't even know if I would have done what some of those people did. They moved closer. These guys were reaching each time someone was coming forward. They said, I haven't seen it, you know, and it could not be true, but they said the medics were virtually tapping the guy. "Pally, you know, we need to attend to our patient. Get the effing off him." You know, I've said enough, I suppose. I just needed to get this out. I needed to be part of what could be a solution. I need, you know, and I'm sure there's loads of other people who think like me, and you know, I was meant to go to the Hyde Park rally, which took place the other day. I was just feeling flat. Look, we're meant to be battling corona and saving each other's lives and protecting each other. We're still doing race wars, you know. I'm a YouTuber. I love YouTube. But we could have a video about tobacco. Honestly, it could be about tobacco, and maybe there'll be some connoisseurs discussing the merits. Yeah, it's a disgusting habit, by the way, but, you know, they could be discussing the merits of Old Holborn to Golden Virginia to whatever. You know, the merits and demerits of tobacco. And guess what? Before it gets to 10 comments, that video, which is about tobacco, would turn into a race war. It always happens. It's just so predictable. Why does it happen? I mean, I keep on saying this. We all bleed red. I could remember the first time I experienced racism. I was about 8, and this young chap who's probably about 11, is a little bit bigger than me and older than me. He asked me the time, and I said, "Oh, I really am sorry. I can't tell you the time because I don't have a watch." And the next thing he did, he punched me in the face. Sometimes one of the worst things you could do as a black person in the Western world is to try and better yourself for pure intentions. Each time I've tried to climb that slippery pole of the corporate ladder, I've applied for management jobs and I've applied for positions of responsibility, and I've got them. Not all the time, but sometimes I've got them. But that is when my life took a downturn. You know, I'm wearing glasses because I don't want you to see my eyes. I don't want to weep in public. I'm not a big fan of that. But I'm very upset. I'm very upset. Yeah, we could all keep quiet and stay in our lane, which is what they want, and you know, not do anything. But we need to speak out. It needs to be said. This is my little effort to speak out. This is my little effort using this platform to say it's not right. It shouldn't be done. You know, we all bleed red, and Black lives do matter. I want to give a little shout out to my production, my executive producer NG, who turned me on to this song, which you'll see in the outro, editing going well. And I also want to say a shout out to Lady B. Best of luck with regards to what you got to do next week. And that's it for now, because I'm getting slightly emotional, and that's not really the point. I just want to say Black lives do matter. I'm out of here. I'm going to make that traditional wall because my gadgets never work, and turn this off. I hope some of you, I've given you some food for thought, something to reflect on. I don't know, but we do matter, and we're not going anywhere. And I'm just going to turn off the camera. Compadres, thank you for taking the time to watch, and I do appreciate it. All the best. Don't forget now, Black Lives Matter. Au revoir.
Why are you detaining me? You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. I'm Martinez. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose hope you losing your job, cause you about to. Cause you ain't got no reason.